I am not a superstar. I write songs and pretend you the one with my stupid flaws. I am not a hero. Yeah, I'm laying right beside you, but I ain't really here though. I am not a role model. Nah, I cannot throw up any of the dope I swallowed. I am not an icon. I can buy a lot, but I cannot say bye to my bygones. I won't rule the kingdom. I make a living writing melodies and I can barely sing them. I'm more of a moron. I book shows but I throw up every time before I go on. I am no superstar. I am no superstar. I am not next, I am just a mess who paid for some cameras and threw me on a set. I am no superstar. I am not a symbol. Most days I can't assemble myself, plain and simple. I am not a figure. Man, I couldn't count the times I had my finger on the trigger. I am not your darling. Getting played left and right taught me how to play your heartstrings. I am not an idol. I chase thrills like a high as a means of survival. I say I'm not selfish, but every line in the song starts with I can't help it. I wanna be enormous. Or maybe I just need someone to tell me I'm important. I am no superstar. I am no superstar. I am not next, I am just a mess who paid for some cameras and threw me on a set. I am no superstar. Sunshine, everyday gray out. A night used to stay out, lost in the mix. Invest in myself with the profit from licks. I was frolicking with my mama, school clothes shopping. New kicks, we don't get to do this often. On the east side, I remember them scoffing. Guess they could tell we don't got deep pockets. Rockets, shit to the moon, I'ma take us far from the gloom and the pay cuts. I can't keep living this way, I cannot sleep. I've got to stay up all night like a vampire, trying to stack these bands higher, trying to stack these bands higher. Up all night like a vampire, trying to stack these bands higher, trying to stack these bands higher. I hated myself when I get low. Little trimmer dolls, yeah, I used to flip those. When the chips low, we used to pick them. Never mind, I'ma keep my lips closed. Point is, man, I did what I had to. He not an angel, him not a pastor. Never guessed that from the big bright grin. Just sing these songs and you'll fit right in. Nothing's gonna save us except for this paper. I can't keep living this way, I cannot sleep. I've got to stay up all night like a vampire, trying to stack these bands higher, trying to stack these bands higher. Up all night like a vampire, trying to stack these bands higher, trying to stack these bands higher. Stack, 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 serve the whole world up my backpack. Stack, 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 if I lose it all, I make it right back. Stack, 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 you can call me when you're in a little trouble. Stack, 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 give me one day and I'll bring back double. Up all night like a vampire, trying to stack these bands higher, trying to stack these bands higher. Higher, higher. Up all night like a vampire, trying to stack these bands higher, trying to stack these bands higher, higher, higher.
Howdy. Welcome. It's a Monday afternoon. I'm very sorry. I kind of woke up late. Like I woke up around like 1:30. So I mean, if I just got ready, I probably would have been on around like 2. When I woke up, I had the most I still do. Like it's not as bad as when I first woke up. I have an incredible headache at the moment and it just sucks. But that's beside the point. Hopefully, you guys paid attention to some of the setups that were lingering throughout the weekend and anticipated them, more importantly. Let me go ahead and switch it over real quick. I'm a little bit slow today because, like I said, I have this headache and my brain's not working right. But, here we go. So right now, you know, I dislike the way that this is going, but nonetheless, we're in profit. You know, it sucks to suck. Couple getting, you know, stopped out a couple times, but for the most part it's been pretty good. So these were the setups. We had the A to the downside, that previous ABC long, which obviously I missed out on the take profit from that. That sucked, I'll admit. Kind of feel like I got cheated on that, but you can see we put in a downtrend, we broke to an uptrend, we broke to a downtrend, we put in a lower low, and we came back above. One of the inklings that this was going to be a little bit stronger of a push to the upside initially. I don't know if it's going to last that way at all, but one of the signs was the funding rate going negative. People were really eager to short that breakout. So when I saw the predicted funding rate was going like, it wasn't like anything extreme like we saw in ZIL, but it was pretty decent for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it kind of gave me the inkling that like if there is going to be kind of like a manipulation, right, that's the time to do it. You know, when you got people that are eager to short, you go ahead, you make it hold support, and then boom, you liquidate people, you start look a little avalanche to the upside. But same thing on Ethereum. Ethereum actually put in its lower low first. So I was like, oh man, we're kind of already past this point just a little bit. I think this might actually just continue to dump. But, you know, once BTC put in its lower low and it came back above its support, I went long. Shortly, Ethereum followed, and then the rest was history. I still am primarily macro short. Since this is a little bit larger of a setup, it does change my opinion slightly, but not by much, because this is still, you know, the Ethereum and BTC setup is still way larger than this one. So I don't doubt that we possibly could retest the macro C here with this setup. But for me, I think that, you know, if we go ahead and we just take our fibs here, you know, if it does want to have a decent retest, 0.382, 0.5 region is still underneath the region where I took my original short. So I'll be taking my profit somewhere around there. Hopefully it doesn't do what it did to me last time and go like $5 away from my take profit, and then turn back around. And then from there, I'll continue to hold my short. If I get stopped out of the short, that's why I'm taking the long. Like I said, a lot of people will go, Austin, oh my goodness. You know, if you take profit on your short now and then you go long, you'll make so much more money. But we don't know if this pump is going to last. It could be a fake out. All right. Security over profit equals more profit long term. Play it that way. All right. However you need to do that. I'm not saying you have to hedge like me. I'm just saying find a way to do it and pursue that route rather than trying to be greedy. That's what I'm saying. All right. But, you know, like I said, I think that's what I'm going to plan on doing, because it's just a matter of the size of the setups and the probability involved. And if we do happen to go retest the C and put in a higher high, I can always reshort from a higher point. All right. We'll see how this plays out. Other than that, that's my plan going forward. Now I said this says medium long until 43K, which I still agree with that. I think that's where I'm going to target. I don't have like a specific target for Ethereum, but whenever BTC gets to around 43K, I'll probably take profit on Ethereum as well. I'm really hoping Ethereum gets back up to this region of 3,200, 3,250. And with that second retest, I mean, I think a lot of people will get a little bit more bullish this time if we do happen to get back up to that region, which, you know, obviously is a little bit of a scare because, you know, that can help them break through the resistance and obviously destroy my short. But at the same time, it could be the same exact opposite to what we have right now, or the same exact thing that happened last night, where the funding rate gets a little bit more positive because people are eager for the breakout. And then, you know, people with more money than you take advantage. All right. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys had good weekends. I just hung out with my sister, went to my mom's house on Sunday, and then we're back here. He said, I feel your man. I woke up with a hell of a headache myself. Plus this rainy day is rough on my back. Man. You got your built-in storm detector. My dad's got that. I don't know what it is. Maybe I didn't drink enough water yesterday. And when I went to sleep, it maybe dehydration. I don't know. But it's gotten a little bit better since I woke up and got some fluids in me. So I think that might have been the issue. I wish we could have just nuked. Yeah. I do too. But it is what it is. Let's discuss Elon Twitter. Did he finally buy Twitter? I mean, other than that, like, unless he like fully buys it, I don't keep up with the news as much as everybody else. So a lot of the times I get the news from him. So if he bought it, Elon Twitter purchase pumped the market or no? Did he full purchase it? Because if so, that's great. I don't think it's gonna have like the biggest effect on the market in the world, but I do think that's a win for free speech. I mean, obviously you have like, you know, the people that are like, oh, billionaires just being able to buy whatever they want, nobody to stop them. Oh my god. Have they never heard of like Carnegie? Rockefeller? The Rockefeller's still kicking, dude. What do you mean? He bought Twitter. Twitter stocks halted. Damn, dude. What a baller, man. Elon just he's a different breed. That is amazing. I'd love to see it. Now, I mean, this could definitely turn into a dystopian universe where Elon becomes a supervillain and now he's unstoppable. You know? I don't know. Let's see how things go. You know, like if Donald Trump is able to get his Twitter account back and everything like that, I think this is like a huge win. Hopefully YouTube's next. Wouldn't that be something? Well, the original plan was for him to take it private. He never said that he was going to keep it public. If you got that much money, you don't need people to invest in you. That's the thing. Okay, if you have a short position open and there's an ABC formed for the long position, what do you do in this case? Do you hedge your position with a stop limit? If you can explain more on this topic, would be great. How do you hedge and where do you decide? So, a lot of the times it's based on what is the size of the setup. All right, so it doesn't take, a big brain to realize that this ABC is quite a bit larger than this ABC over here to the right. We can split them in half using our Alt V right here. Okay, so two separate setups. All right, like I said, doesn't take a big brain here. All right, so we can imply that this setup over here has more strength to the downside than this one will have over here. Now, it's all about probability. It doesn't mean that this is 100% going to force us to the downside. This one doesn't mean that it's 100% going to force us to the upside. So this is where the large short setup began. This is where the medium, I would call this a medium setup, long began. Okay. So the long has leeway in probability until we get up to this. All right. So about 3,300. All right. And then, as long as we are below that red line, there is still always that lingering probability of us just continuing to the downside. So as long as we are holding above the green, we have probability to the red. All right. That's why I'm playing it in this manner where I'm not just holding my long, because the long comparative to the short is not as high of a probability. So I do think that there could be upside price action, which I would like to take advantage of on a smaller time frames, make a little bit of extra profit. And if this in some way, shape, or form does push us past my original short position, the main goal is not to make as much money as humanly possible, but to save some of the loss or the profit made from the original short. So if I have a $500 short and then I take a $500 long here, all right, I'm willing to get stopped out of the long pretty much immediately because I know that the probability is to the downside. But if we come back up and I take my profit and I made, let's say the short was in $500 profit, just as another example here. All right. And then if we come back up to my take profit for the long and I make $400 on the long and then get stopped out of the original short, all right, technically, all right, I lost the $500, but it was never there in the first place. Until I mark it out, that money is not mine. It doesn't exist. Okay. So in this case scenario, because I was going with the major probability of the short, but I wasn't afraid to take a little bit of a loss on a long, I made sure that I only lost that $100 worth of profit instead of all 500. And then, from there, we can reevaluate the situation, wait for the next potential setup, and continue to play appropriately. All right. If you take profit on your short and then go long, and then we only have a little bit of a blip to the upside, and then we turn back short, you lost your good short position. All right, because this short technically wants to retest 2165. All right. So I rather have the probability to make a lot of money, all right, than sacrifice all of that potential for a little bit of money in terms of probability, because we can only think in terms of probability when it comes to the strategy. It's okay to have a personal opinion on the market and what you personally think can happen, but if you're trading a strategy, all right, you have to think as if that's all you could ever think, right? No human emotion, no nothing. You are a robot, and the robot looks at it from, okay, these are the probabilities and the statistics. This is the smartest move. Play it as such. And now there's room for interpretation. Things can change on a dime. That's why we're human. We have that ability. But for the most part, 99% strategy, and there might become one thing, one of the 100 things that requires your human attention. Hopefully that made sense. If not, let me know. I'll try to explain harder with a more strained face. Is this the last lower low? Yeah. If we don't put in like if we fail to hold this, I'm not taking any more longs. Because if we fail to hold here, we should technically drop down to 3,700. So I don't feel like trying to play that. Like I said, I really do think that if we fail in this region, we're probably going to see like 33, 34. Kite, you want to buy Doge now? Is Doge mooning? But no, I don't want to buy Doge.
Oh my god! Would you look at that? Would you just look at it?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Why not limit out partial profits and secure a little? Just not how I play. In one of the seminars from Trader Tom, you know, he very like mockingly goes, everybody's so eager to take a profit, you know. And, oh, I'm break even, let's take profit. I'll take half profit there, I'll take half profit here. And I know I have a different way of doing it, but I very similarly am doing what he's talking about, where if I think I'm right about something, I get deeper into it. Or if I'm macro short, you know, if the market gives me a lower position but just a secure place to short from, I'll take my profit on my short and then enter short from there. So I'll short low and short even lower, and I'll short even stronger. All right, but when the market finally gives way and it's no longer giving me that same inkling, I'm willing to give it up. There's the same difference. That's how you can milk price action for everything it's got. Now, I'm not saying like use higher risk. What I'm saying is, you know, if I'm using 2% risk in my portfolio and that 2% risk equals $100, right? And then now I take a trade and I make profit and now my 2% becomes $150. I'm not afraid to use $150 worth of risk on the next short, all right? And then if that short makes me profit, now I'm willing to lose even more money, but it's still the same percentage. All right. Now, if the account grows tremendously, I'll drop the percentage down just to increase the chance that the account stays secure long term. But, you know, obviously, if you're dealing with smaller portfolios, you do need to use a little bit more risk depending on how you want to see the account grow. Like I said, there's no perfect way to do it, only perfect on your lifestyle. You got a 9 to 5, you can't watch the charts all day, don't play the 5-minute time frame. You're stressing out too much, it's causing you to lose more. All right, play the 1 hour time frame, increase your stop losses, that way you can probably sleep through a couple of them. All right, and then just play the charts. Come with time. All right, if you can sit there at your chart all day, yeah, play on the 10-minute, play on the 15-minute, take those chances. All right, but you might have to lower your risk a little bit. The parameters will change depending on how you fit into the whole equation. I don't get, you know, that's why like I try my best to not influence other people's decisions. I'll say the setups I'm playing, but I don't like to dictate the stop loss and the, you know, the exact take profit and everything like that. And I mean, I get why people want to do it, but we're different. Like, what makes me win will not make you win, and vice versa. Is Bybit the exchange with the lowest transaction fees? I don't want to say yes or no, because I don't know. All I can say is Bybit is my Bitcoin. All right, it might not be the best exchange, but you know what it is? It's secure in terms of I've been using it for the longest period of time. And as far as I know, Bybit is one of the originals. Maybe FTX was around the same time. But there's been a lot of exchanges that have just popped up during the bull market, and I am very wary of those types of things. So Bybit was here way before we were in a bull market, way before, about 2 years before, 3 years before. So I rather go with what I know. So like I said, might not be the best, might not be the best looking UI, might not please your eyeballs, but I can at least somewhat trust it. Like I said, it's never a good thing to keep 100% of your portfolio on Bybit. That just makes no sense. That's why we have leverage, portfolio exposure. But yeah, I like it. I've gotten used to it, so I can't do ABC setups. I don't know when the A starts. I know I need practice, but I could use a little bit of coaching. How do I effectively get good at finding ABCs? So, like I said, to start your A, there's really no special trick. All right. Now, you want to find out where like a trend, preferably a sizable trend, comes to an end. It doesn't matter if it's a downtrend or an uptrend. Okay. Find out where a trend starts. So, if I'm looking at my chart and this is the only price action I can see, all right, we want to either find the highest point with no price action above it or the lowest point with no price action below it. You can see we have price action higher over here, but you can see that there's price action above that, so that's not where we're going to start. So these are the only two places where we can start an A, our zero into an A, right? So from there, we click the lowest point and we drag it until we see that uptrend. And I don't have like a magical way for you to know whether or not it is a uptrend or a downtrend. It should come naturally to your brain just because we're pattern seeking creatures. Try to not dig too deep into the details, rather look at the larger picture. I'm not getting lost up on all this stuff right here. I'm looking at the larger picture. Larger picture. Larger picture. You can see that there was a B, and a C within this. All right. And like I said before, typically what you're going to find with uptrends is you're going to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, but they are basically disguised as ABCs. So if you have, now you can see in this case scenario, it was not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a 1, and then you have 2, 3, which is the outer shell. All right, so let me see if I can do this correct. All right, you had this right here. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So either way you put it, right? If this is my trend line, you have an uptrend that broke into a downtrend that broke into an uptrend. It doesn't matter if the uptrend is a 3-piece or a 5-piece meal, all right? It's an uptrend and it had a beginning and it had an end, all right? You have to put the two, take away the minute details, piece it together, look at the bigger picture, and you're going to have a much, much easier time. Now, when you're dealing with larger time frames, it does make sense that when you get to these critical areas, you drop down your time frame and look at maybe what the smaller time price action can tell you, because it might be able to save you 1 or 2 stops, but you're looking for that specific macro area, but maybe you take into account what the micro is trying to tell you, right? All depending on what you want to do. So in this case, instead of looking at it from a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 perspective, we look at it from a B, C perspective. All right, we're basically just taking something that might be a tad bit complicated, and we're making it simpler for our brains to understand. And the more simple something is and easy to understand, the less stressful it is. Therefore, your cortisol is not clouding your judgment, and therefore you can make better decisions. That's why I do the things that I do, right? Because I'm an anxiety-ridden creature just as much as the next guy. But the difference is I proactively try to find ways to combat it, whereas people are getting deeper into the anxiety, which makes no sense because they think that getting deeper into the anxiety is the key to getting out of it. You're working against yourself. You're trying to swim against the current. It's ridiculous. So hopefully that explained a little bit. And then from this side over here, if let me make a new chart because I do want to keep this chart nice and neat. Because I know I have a bad habit of, oh gosh, I have like 80,000 charts over here. Let me just pick one and then I'll rename it. We'll do this one. That is disgusting. Who made this chart? I have a bone to pick. This was not me. Okay, that's better. All right, we'll go with that. Turn Wix back on. And let me rename this real quick. Macro again. What to do? So just like with the bottom point here going into the uptrend, and that's how we found our A. If, like I said, if you can find a point like the highest high on your current chart that has no price action above it, you can see over here we have the highest high, but you can see price action is above it, so we know that that's not where an A begins. Oh, maybe like a macro A, but not a something that is actionable within the next couple of days. Then from there we go, okay, this is where we see a decent downtrend. This is the only real uptrend that we can see. You can see we have two uptrends within this downtrend, but they don't matter because in the bigger picture, it was all going down. Now right here, you can see, if you want to look at it from the perspective of we put in a higher high than this one over here, and that breaks the trend, you can say that, go for it. And then you can see from there, we put in a lower low than the A, so therefore we can confirm that that might be our C. And then we go ahead and we can mark that out as a potential trade area. Hopefully that helped. What is your macro Bitcoin buy range? 33K is like the next macro ABC that we have on our hands here. Because technically, if we put in a lower low than 29,000, technically that's not an ABC because we put in a higher high here. So this would be our ABC. And then this would be our ABC. 33, once we put in a lower low, will confirm the macro setup. But I don't think it will stop there. I do think the C is going to extend a bit. I've been really thinking about 25,000 as a possible target. Just me personally. Because 25,000 makes sense in terms of we don't have to go back below the last all-time high, but we can still test a little bit lower. Just, I think 25,000 is a good number to hit. Like I said, 25,000 isn't too low. All right. So if we happen to hit 25,000, if we can get back above 30, 29, there'll be a positive reaction in the market for sure. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't claim to tell the future. So we'll see. If I could tell the future, I wouldn't be hedging. I switched back to my ribbon microphone. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the audio. I ordered some bass traps for the, because I'm talking into like the wall extends past me, but there's a lot of reflections in this area. So I don't know what I want to do. I'm probably gonna make some more sound panels and hang them up. Only problem is like I got the monitors, I got my 65-inch TV, so it's just smooth, hard surfaces, just bouncing all the sound back at me. If this hits, long hits, I would be hitting the 3x mark on my challenge portfolio. Nacho fries for everyone. It's on me. That's what's up, man. I'm holding you to it. The nacho fries, that is. I will, when you come visit me, you go on your trip, like, where's those nacho fries? That's the first thing that it needs to be in your hand when we meet, is nacho fries. It's like you're bringing me flowers, but the stems are made out of nachos and fries. Besides trading, you studying on working with other stuff? Not really. Like, I mean, I've been learning more about, you know, the technical terms for a lot of the health things that I'm looking into. I'm starting my fast again today, doing a 6-hour eating window, 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, because I'm trying to like pinpoint what's causing my circulatory issues. Well, I mean, I've definitely gotten them better, but I'm trying to get them perfect within a reasonable amount of time. It's not like I'm trying to do it by next week. I'm trying to make sure I know what's up before I get into my old age. So I feel like a lot of people, once they, I remember one night I was walking in the woods, pitch black, and for some reason, like the thought of like wishes came up, and like even back then I knew that like stressful situations you lead to the most growth. So like take for example, if you're like 70 years old, all of a sudden you have your first major health complication. That's when you probably start learning what you need to learn. Unless you like were a doctor to begin with, okay, then you're just you got that jazz all up. Um, so for me, I haven't had like a major health complication, but I've definitely had scares. So in the woods, I was like, I feel like I want to learn how to die early, because I feel like that puts you in a situation where you need to learn what you need to learn as fast as possible. And unfortunately, I think I got what I wished for, but we're gonna stop before it happens. So I've been learning mostly about the sympathetic nervous system is what's causing the high blood pressure and circulatory issues, but I think it's mostly just 20 years of bad diet. So I'm going to start doing the fast a little bit more prolonged. I'm trying to shoot for like around 6 months. Hopefully that will clean out any clogs that I got in my arteries and veins. And then from there, should see an improvement. Do I exercise? I was for a little bit, but I need to get my heart rate down before I try to do anything intensive. Because last time I went into the gym, my heart rate was getting like around 165, 170, which technically is still in the safe zone for my age, but that's assuming that I was like the healthiest I could possibly be. So I mean, there's always a blessing in disguise when something bad happens. Now, the first inkling I had that like I need to change what I'm doing is my foot swelled up real bad. Obviously, when you Google something like that, you just see nothing but scary shit, heart failure, blood clot, all that kind of stuff, and cutting the pickles out of my diet helped it. So the sodium could have been causing like water retention, or the sodium could have been causing more hypertension, which obviously can lead to swelling of the foot. So it's like I said, it's a blessing. If I didn't have that happen to me, then I wouldn't have probably learned a lot of stuff. And now I carry that throughout the entirety of my life going forward. You need a 4-hour eating window or less. If you're talking about autophagy to help with clearing out the arteries, yeah, 4 hours is probably the best, but there is a slight bit of autophagy with the 6-hour. My heart rate would go up too if I saw you in the gym. Stop. You're making me blush. I gotta turn this down on my side. It's a little bit too loud. I want a bouquet of nacho fries. I want so for less. Use real Himalayan salt, not table salt. Dude, I was that weird kid that whenever I saw a Himalayan salt lamp, I would lick it. I love salt. It's too much. So I don't know if it needs to be Himalayan salt. I feel like that's a little bit like white and bougie. Shouldn't sea salt be, you know, like natural salt? Because I mean, I feel like a lot of the salt that we see nowadays is chemically made, but like real salt, you know, from like what do they call those? Salt basin, or just sea salt in general? I'm sure a lot of the Himalayan salt doesn't actually come from the Himalayas, but that would be really expensive, wouldn't it? No? Is it just because it's pink? That's what's up, Christopher. Appreciate you. That was more than 100 kilograms. How much is 100 kilograms? Isn't it like a 3x conversion? Wait, are you sure? Am I doing this right? It's telling me like something crazy. Okay, it was giving me a stupid number, so that's about 220 pounds, right? That's about what I weigh right now. So, well, no, I'm 200 now. I was 220. So, I've lost a bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna start the fast up again because when I was 17, I weighed probably about 190. So a little bit less than what I weigh right now, but because I was, you know, I don't know, not fully grown, it was about the same situation. I went on 4-hour eating window for about 6 months. I dropped down to about 155, and that's probably the best I ever felt. So I'll try to do the same thing, just not quit this time. I fell out of it. I was on it fasting about a month ago for a decent period of time. The problem with the shorter eating windows is really the social aspect. That's what gets you out of your habits. I think I'm gonna take your advice, Ocean Blue. If anything, you know, they can probably prescribe me a beta blocker. That way I could probably get in the gym and do some exercise without potential death. I know the exercise is going to be the biggest thing, just to help the arteries and the capillaries grow. So there's more room for stuff to move. Well, the bone broth has amino acids, and that tends to stop the process of autophagy, which is what's required in order to have the body eat the defects. Hey Kite, I'm a bit late today. Would that have been a valid C on BTC today? Yep, I took that trade. I believe it to be a valid C. And it's a little bit larger setup than this original one that we had over here. So I'm still playing it up to about the same range. Looking for about 43K. Another thing that like kind of like pisses me off is like the positive side effects that I've been getting from my medication is good. And I mean, I've done the research, and as long as I'm under 10 milligrams a day and I take at least 3 days off a week, I'm never going to be entering the neurotoxic region, which is my main concern. But besides that, the generic Adderall is about 50-50 of basically the alertness drug, and then you have the dopamine drug. So the problem is that the alertness drug is what heightens your sympathetic nervous system and puts you in that kind of like fight or flight mode, so that you can be up and at 'em. And obviously you have the 50%, happiness, giving your brain motivation to do things. And especially if you actually have ADHD, you have down regulation. So like shit that used to make you happy can no longer, it can't do it unless something new and exciting happens. So the generic costs like $20, right? But it has more heart rate, blood pressure, negative side effects. And then the brand name Adderall, which is 75% 75% dopamine, 25% heart rate, blood pressure, negative side effect, all right, is $550 for the same exact amount. And it's only 25% different. Can someone tell me how that's legal? Kind of blows my mind. Because I don't need the sympathetic nervous system activation. I don't have problems with staying awake, right? That's why, it's mostly used for narcolepsy patients in that manner. But I don't have narcolepsy. I have my appointment with my doctor coming up here in 3 days. If she can, I'll talk to her about what some of the options are and see if she has anybody she recommends. Because she's a really cool doctor. She's not like, like a big time pharmaceutical doctor, like Kaiser and shit like that, where it's just like big people in big offices that get big money. She's not really paid that much, so she'll tell you the truth. She's the one that, told me about, why she didn't start me, because they usually start males off with about 15 milligrams a day. She was like, I don't want to do that to you. It screws you up. For example, should we go to BitBoy to learn ABCs or Kite? I gotcha. But a lot of things that I'm learning from, like and talking about here, comes straight from the mouth of heart doctors. Now, obviously, they can help me quickly diagnose what needs to be done, and obviously, they can actually tell me if I have like anything that is a major issue. There's definitely a history of family heart issues. I don't have arterial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat. I don't have that. I believe I have SVT, but I haven't really had that since I got out of puberty, and that was one of the things I read about. Was it typically goes away. My brother, who has a different father, so and not the same exact genes, but he had a leaky heart valve, but that was like major life threatening. Like his life expectancy, if they did not take surgery when he was young, was like maybe 5 years old. And obviously, if I do have a leaky heart valve, then I'm beating records over here, setting new standards. Here, 1 second. It's all in your mind. You seem fine, bro. You're seeing a perspective I want you to see. You know, I got you at a high angle so you can't see my double chin. You know, I clean up before I get on live stream. Obviously, like sitting here in a chair, it's easy to be, you know, up and at 'em. But, you know, if I ran a fitness YouTube channel, none of you guys would be watching me, dude. So, you know, I have a blood pressure cuff, and I take my blood pressure, and it's not perfect, you know, and I can tell that I don't feel tip top. So I wouldn't say it's all in my mind, but the habits that are leading to what's causing it are in my mind, and those can be changed. Statin drugs, heart medication is a leading killer in the USA, FYI. You talking about like beta blockers? So I was researching them last night. There is a couple things that most of them are negative side effects are related to hypotension, in terms of like fainting, dizziness, nausea, hypotension just in general, depression. So obviously the depression is one that, but everything else is mostly related to if the medication is opening up your veins too much. Well, the beta blocker doesn't really open up your veins, it slows down your heart rate, which takes down your blood pressure. Which blood pressure isn't that much of an issue unless it's prolonged. That's my problem. Then you get the tears in your arteries, which then gets plaque buildup. And then if you have a high heart rate, high blood pressure still, when it breaks off. Well, enough of that. Speaking into existence. Abracadabra. But that's my plan going forward, health-wise and chart-wise. I'm trying to fix this real quick. I hate how this stuff moves around. Kite, flip yourself. You're facing the wall. What are you talking about? Oh. I'm not really too concerned with that, but we'll do that. How about this? This is how we're doing it from now on. Hello. Oh no. How do I get it back? There we go. Transform. Ah! What if like this was my reality and I like at a whim I could just click a button and it just shifts everything? If there was a choice, like healthy mind or healthy body thought experiment, I'd pick mind. Well, what do you mean by healthy mind? Because, I mean, there's a statistical advantage to being not as smart. Low IQ people statistically have lower depression, lower suicide rates, because they see life from a simple perspective. You know, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes that's the most important thing, just like with the ABCs. So does a healthy mind mean a smart mind? Or what do you mean by that? Because I think that maybe a healthy body with, you know, an average IQ? Or do you mean like a truly sick mind, like schizophrenia, psychopath? What's the definition by that? It's too plain for me to make a decision. He said, "Oh dear, this is gonna make me seasick." Blah. That's better. I was wondering because my screen to read your guys' texts are over here, and then obviously when I'm looking at the charts, looks like I'm looking at you. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Am I still mining right now? I am. What? Oh my oh, I don't know what is wrong with me. Hopefully the stream wasn't suffering. That's a lot of power to be given away. Well, at least we got some extra dollars for today, I guess. Almost halfway to my next withdrawal here. Computers have been working away, trying to get that moolah. So far, so good. I'm up to 130 bucks here. Another like $20 in flux on the Zelcore. So mine about $150 so far since I put together that system over there. Obviously, it's in combination here, but yep, going along. You can see the P&L's down, but it's coming back up. Let me refresh this because that's not right. Wait, are you serious? There's no way. I think there's about to... So what's really cool is if this is telling me there's no way. One of the cool things I've seen lately is that if I watch my profitability, especially if I'm mining just the ETH algorithm, I can typically spot when a larger market move is about to happen, like within like the next 12 hours or so. Because obviously if there's more transactions on the network or a lot of money being moved, the mining fees are increased, like the amount that I get paid from gas and not just the plain Jane block reward. So sometimes I'll see my profit go from like $6, $7 a day to like $11. I know like there's a lot of money being moved around. Like, I don't know, you know, it's just something cool that I've noticed. But yeah, past yesterday wasn't that good just because wait, that's today's. So today so far I've mined $4.65. But like I said, depending on how much I use my main computer will determine whether or not if I get up to that $7 amount. We're chugging along. Chugging along. How long did it take to get that? I just showed you. Probably about, if I'm getting about $5, $6 a day, it's been roughly about a month so far, right? When did I make this video? Go to YouTube. 2 weeks ago. So yeah, been about 2 weeks. I guess it's about right because that's 14 days. $7 a day. I'm not sure. Go back to nice hash. I started on the 23rd. Yeah, it's been about a month. No, what? Okay, no, never mind. How many? What happened to the group by day? History and stats. Group by day. That's not when I started, was it? Was that April 11th? This was either the 6th or the 7th. So it's been close to 3 weeks. Look at that fishy boy right there. Look at that fish. That's a fish. Okay, what heart rate are you at right now? Oh, my Apple Watch is dead. Well, I'm gonna guess about 90 to 100. But last week, it was consistently sitting around like 80, which 80 still isn't good. All right, it's not, but it's better. It's definitely better. Hey Kai, last question. On this BTC rally, how would you know if it's just a fake out? Are you talking about how did I know that? Well, that's the thing. I don't ever know. It's all a question of, does it make sense from an R&R perspective? And then does price action do what I needed it to do? So with this, like, I don't know that it's going to bounce back up and not go straight down. It's a matter of the R&R and just probability and the setup that I have in terms of the rules of engagement. So if I got an ABC, I got a trade. Is the R&R good? I take it. Now in this case, I really didn't care much about the R&R. It was more about the hedge, but the inkling. So like I said, I never know, but the inkling was we saw negative funding rate while going into a bullish setup or a place for price action, if price action holds, would be bullish. So it was a matter of, do people with lots of money, hold that and then liquidate people, which causes even more price action to go up. Hash rate. Sorry, my bad. I can see how we got our wires twisted here because we're talking about so many different things. I'm getting about like 55 to 60 mega hashes on the 2080 Ti, and then I get about 127 mega hash on my 3090. And I've messed around with some of the settings. I got my I can show you. Let me bring up Discord real quick. I don't know why I stashed this pic, but Yeah, I'm getting around like 127 mega hashes, and then I'm getting just under 400 kilohash per watt, which is pretty damn good, I would think so. Now, like the next thing I want to do is hopefully either one, like we have a little bit of a crypto crash here, and I can go pick up a graphics card. But like I said, I don't want to rich boy this hobby. I want to, like, you know, I put in the initial investment. I bought the graphics card, and I feel like already I'm in a really advantageous position. So, you know, I want the mining to pay for the next graphics card, and then so on. So I think once I get to around like the $500 to $600 mark, I'll probably start looking to see if there's any deals on graphics cards, and then go from there. But right now we're still in the growing phase, and I think I'm getting about like 320 watts of usage on the 3090. Yeah, Fish's hair is absolutely ridiculous. I bought this this vacuum from Shark that's like intended solely for pets. It can pick up small shit, but it doesn't do a good job at like being an actual vacuum. But for anything hair related and pet dander, it's a beast. It's about the same size as a Dyson, but it's corded. And it's a really good vacuum if you ever need one. I'm gonna try. Not sponsored. Shark pet vacuum. So I mean, I guess they make a bunch of different ones. I guess, do they have cordless ones? They do have cordless ones. I don't know which one exactly I got here. I know it wasn't cordless, but it was about that size. It might be this one right here, maybe? I'm not sure. But Shark is a pretty good brand. Like I said, like it's actually disgusting how much it picks up. And like it sorts the pet dander and hair into one section, and then all like the other stuff, contaminants, you know, whatever it might be, into another section. And then when you empty it, you get to see just how bad it is. Well, for the price, it was pretty good. Came with a whole bunch of utensils. I actually use it for my car too, since usually your car, it's just like food crumbs and stuff, so it can pick that up. But how about the little robot one? Yeah, I guess I could do the floor, but you know, do you really want something constantly moving around your floor? And what if your dog poops and then it goes over the top of the poop and just smears it all around your house? You ever thought about that? Not a it hasn't happened to me, but I've seen videos. Not a fun situation. Hey Kite, I recently made my first successful ABC setup trade, and man oh man, what a rush. Thank you, man, I appreciate that. Like I said, it's always the rush that gets you. Don't go too crazy with it, but I'm glad it worked. And just remember, someone in the Discord the other night was talking about like short setups on poop coins, and he goes like, does it make sense that, you know, I should take this short setup if BTC and Ethereum are so close to be putting in long setups? And I go, well, you know, it's up to you, because, you know, just because we have the potential to have a long setup doesn't mean that it's not just going to break that support and fall. That's always the possibility. And once again, the biggest thing to remember is that ABCs are not magic in terms of they are always going to work. ABCs for me are just a perspective on the market that gives me a rule set of engagement of how to get into trades, how to possibly get out of trades, how to set up my risk and my stop losses. It gives kind of order to the madness. But you have to remember that it's still madness. Right? You can't predict this market. But what I believe is that the ABCs, they give you a chance to, if you look at it from this perspective in terms of the candlesticks here, it gives you a chance to look into the psychology of the market. If the market is able to get up to here and it has a massive pullback, you can see that's a region of fear. That's when people are like, okay, I don't think it's really going to go that much higher. And then people start to gain confidence as price action starts to hold. You can see confidence, and it's like, I don't know. And yeah, you can make up 1,000 different stories of what's happening here in your mind. You could say it's market makers being manipulative and dumping it on people's heads. Whatever you want, man. The simple fact is that the market had confidence going up, but that confidence started to dwindle. You can see people held on for dear life. This could be longs that are refusing to let go. And then finally, we get back below that resistance. People start letting go of the longs, and then starts making price action drop, and then people get liquidated out of the remainders, and then it just starts a whole avalanche. All right, and now you can apply that same concept to this mini level right here. All right, is it going to have as much of a price action effect? Maybe not, but the fact still stands. The market is confident on price action moving down until here, then it rebounds, right, and then comes back down. So if it can hold twice, the confidence should double. We should proceed a little bit higher. It's just a theoretical concept. It's not, rocket science here. And then you mix that a little bit with like, what is the majority of people doing? Because, there's the whole saying, the herd's wrong 70% of the time. And yeah, like I said, I do support that in a free market, people should be allowed to do what they want to do. All right. I can't dictate how my opponents play in an FPS. If they want to use a cheesy gun, use a cheesy gun. It increases their chance to win. I don't like it, but it is what it is. So if someone's got billions of dollars and everybody else is going short and they go, I want price action to hold here, all right, and you don't let go of your short, that is your fault. All right, that means you're one of the stubborn ones that caused the price action to go even higher. So in turn, you're doing the world a disservice. All I'm saying. You're doing mostly you a disservice. The dander is mostly human dead skin. Don't tell me that. What if instead of like dander, where everything kind of just like flaked off slowly, we were like snakes, just peeled it off once a year? That'd be something. Garrett Davis, I was just talking about you. How you doing, buddy? I promise I wasn't being mean. I was using an example of a question you asked, and it was a really good one. So, well, you got a better dog than I do. Which, I mean, Fish is a good dog. He doesn't, go poop just to go poop, and I take him out. But obviously, like, if I have to leave the house for more than like 4 hours and nobody's home, obviously he's got food and water. He's not going to die. But you can't blame him if anything happens. 4 hours is like my limit. If I take him out before I go and he goes to the bathroom, I know I got at least 4 hours. And then if I get back, he'll be, there won't be any accidents. Yeah, you knew I was talking to you, AZ. You knew who I was talking to. I'm still surprised that you're still in that long. All right? That... Man. I don't know what to say, man. Hello? How you doing, man? Leave him outside for a little? What do you mean? Like if I'm leaving the house I can't leave him outside. Because he barks. And dogs don't get tired of barking. They will bark until they die. And I just can't do that to the neighbors. There's no way. That is rude and inconsiderate of me if I do that. I was washing my car the other day with the power washer. I was holding it with this hand, and I usually hold like towards the end for stabilization. And for some reason I wasn't paying attention, and my pinky slipped right in front of the jet stream, and that hurt. That hurt a lot. Luckily, I have a electric power washer, so it's only about 2,000 psi. It's not like a 4,000 psi monster. That would have probably destroyed my finger. But it basically just like, it didn't cut my finger open. It just kind of like pushed the skin back. It hurt. It didn't bleed. It just hurt. AZ, just don't do that to yourself, man. Don't do it. It was mostly because I had the 25-degree angle attachment on there. Because if you have like a 4,000 psi like professional power washer, you typically want to use like a 40-degree angle if you're washing a car. But if it's 2,000 psi, you can use a 25-degree pretty safely, as long as you're not like an inch away. About a foot away is typically fine. It just sucks, man, because I kind of miss living in like a more urban area, just because my car would stay clean. Feels like I wash my car and then the next day it has a mountain of pollen on it. It's like, what's the point anymore? Like, it just sucks. Like I like to just kind of like do a quick rinse, because I don't think letting that stuff sitting on it is gonna, it's helpful, but trying to get like that deep, nice, shiny clean just doesn't work. It'll last for probably like 6 hours and then boom, summertime. Yeah, if fish just barked at people like a quick woo 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 and then stopped, that wouldn't be a problem. But like, he's not barking at people, he's barking for me, like to come back. And I mean, I've tried a lot of things, in terms of leaving the room, waiting for him to bark, and then the second that he stops, I go give him a treat, let him know that that was the behavior. I tried that for a long time. It just didn't work. I know what the solution is. So, I mean, I think he's catching on. Because he knows that, like, I always come back now. But obviously when he's like 2 years old, nothing but anxiety. Because he's about 3.5, 4 years old now. He'll be 4 years old in June. I named her Sony after that PS5, but I bought a Xbox. That's heresy. Yeah. I honestly love the PS5 and all of the games on it. I don't think I've had that much fun playing video games since I was a kid. Like their exclusives are some of the best games ever made. And I mean, you know, I had Xbox ever since I was 12 years old, and I completely disagreed. You know, I tried to say, you know, it doesn't matter how many exclusives. No, their games are amazing. The sad thing is like I'm a PC player, so once I'm finished with all the exclusives, I'd throw the PS5 back in the closet and wait for the next one to come out. But I think I'm gonna go soon. My headache's kind of gone away, so I'm thankful for that. Thought about hanging up those base traps, but I still gotta give them about 24 hours for them to inflate. They're just cheap ones, so I don't think it's gonna help too terribly much, but anything helps. So I figured I can't really do a whole lot about the sound that is hitting this wall, except for the bass that gets trapped in the corners. But thinking about, I was looking into mounting techniques for possibly mounting like sound panels on the ceiling, and dude, I like, it's so cool some of the shit that people come up with in terms of mounting techniques. I was looking at like French cleats, which I know isn't new. It's probably been around for forever, but I think it's so cool. Ingenuity. Even like the simplest shit, like you know, French cleats. I like it. I think it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just so cool. And that's always been something like I was curious in, is like mounting shit on the ceiling. And I mean, even on the walls, I would probably still use French cleats, especially for like large heavy panels like that. I think that makes more sense than trying to hang it on like screws or anything like that, which is what I've done in the past. Because now that I have laminate flooring, there is like, the problem area is the bouncing up and down, right? And then obviously the reflections coming off of this. The set, like the panels you see behind me, a lot of people have messaged me asking if those are sound panels. Yes and no. Theoretically, they're really just for looks, you know, the aesthetic of the room. But because of the angular shape of them, instead of having like a direct back and forth of sound waves, it helps kind of deflect it outwards into different areas of the room to help it disperse, rather, you know, getting direct reverb back and forth. I mean, I guess that's one of the advantages of them, but what you really want for reverb is sound absorption. You know, you want it to go into the object and then diffuse within it before it ever comes back out. That's why rock wool insulation is one of the best things, because the sound can get into the panel but has a hard time getting back out. Obviously I can get like maybe a carpet or something, but I don't really need it. So I figured if I take off one of the reverbs, that'll be good. Future projects. And I do want to get some panels just kind of like around the walls, mostly for looks, because one of the cool things about the DIY sound panels, rather than going with the professional ones, you can, you know, like get a tapestry for the material used for the front of the sound panel, so it can act like a picture, you know, to add art to the room, but also can act as a sound panel, which is pretty cool. Sorry, what are you looking to hang, Kite? I literally do maintenance at a hospital and a lot of carpentry. French cleats are definitely one of the best options to hang heavy things. Make sure you find studs though. Yeah, I gotta get a ladder and take my stud finder and see where the studs are on the ceiling, so that way I can measure out like what's appropriate for the size of the sound panels. Well, I mean, I use Adobe Audition for my sound, and it's a real battle because I can't get the sound exactly how I like it and the level that I want it without sacrificing a lot of other stuff. So that's why sometimes my voice is a little bit lower, but you know, I'm not going too heavy on the compression. I got a nice little gate going, and then a little bit of a parametric equalizer. Which if the bass traps, you know, if I get some like high quality bass traps, I could probably take this to maybe like a 30, no, a 12. That way I can sound like a little bit more of a man. But if I have it this far back, it adds a little bit too much bass. I've always been interested in sound. Right, guys. It's 5:30 where I'm at. We've been live for about an hour and a half now, so I'll let you go. Hopefully, you guys have good Mondays. Um, might see you tomorrow. Like I said, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm gonna try to stream from now on, just because I'm having fun with it again. But there is no promises on those days. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as always, I will try 100% as hard as I can to be here at somewhat of a decent time. You know, hopefully around 1 p.m. But can't promise that either. But all right, guys. Like I said, I just kind of wrap things up here. My plan going forward is I'm currently short from 45,363, with the expectation of getting to 33,000 before the availability to take profit on said short happens. All right. And then from there, I'll be taking the macro long. As of right now, the medium time frame setup I'm taking a long, and I'll be longing up to about 43,000. One, because it is below that probability resistance for shorts, and it's within the 0.5 to 0.382 range of this particular setup. So, like I said, my whole thing is I'm trying to maximize security of profit, not maximize the profit itself. And then that way we can grow the account adequately from here on out. Let's pick a song for the outro today. I've kind of recently been running out of music here, which, I mean, I haven't been trying to find music a lot lately. It kind of just shows up on my radars. Let's see. Maybe some Earl St. Clair. I played this in the past, but it's been a very long time since I played this, so I'll play it again. Add to the songs I played on stream. Is it real? Will I make this whole thing up? Alright. I'll see you guys later. Let's do the thing. And get our day started. I still gotta go take a shower here. My hair was decent enough to hop on stream, but man, I feel greasy. So I'm gonna go do that. Hopefully you guys have fun days. I kind of messed up. I was trying to do my sideburns. Messed up my sideburns, so I gotta go get a haircut too. But it's besides the point. Deep breath. That's another thing. I want to get my health right so I can do the breathing stuff again without fear of having actual physical repercussions, because otherwise there's not. But bye.
Baby, is it real? Or did I make this whole thing up? Is it real? Cause this cannot be my love. Is it real? It seems too good to trust. Please don't feed me lies. Baby, please don't waste my time. She loves me not, she loves me so. I love to watch her leave, but I can't let her go. Just tell me the truth and save me the battle. With every lie you pass me, it gets harder to handle. I've been down that road before. She's known to put on a show, but the grass ain't green over there. And the heart ain't really something you can share. All I ask is that you don't waste all my time. Baby, is it real? Is it real? Or did I make this whole thing up? Is it real? Is it real? Cause this cannot be my love. Is it real? Is it real? It seems too good to trust. Please don't feed me lies. Baby, please don't waste my time. Tell me, is it real? Baby, is it real? Baby, is it real? Oh, yeah. Please don't feed me lies. Baby, please don't waste my time. You see, you make it harder to leave. You know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Loving you gets harder every day to achieve. I'm not being messy, I just call what I see, yeah. Chances are slim to none. Every instinct tells me to run, cause the grass ain't green over there. And the heart ain't really something you can share. All I ask is that you don't waste all my time. Tell me, is it real? Is it real? Or did I make this whole thing up? Is it real? Is it real? Cause this cannot be my luck. Is it real? Is it real? It seems too good to trust. Please don't feed me lies. Baby, please don't waste my time. Tell me, is it real? Oh, yeah. Is it real? It don't feel real. Oh, yeah. Please don't feed me lies. Baby, please don't waste my time. Tell me, is it real? Or did I make this whole thing up? Is it real? Cause this cannot be my love. Is it real? It seems too good to trust. Please don't feed me lies. Baby, please don't waste my time. Tell me, is it real?